Hello, Leo. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right. So, Leo, tonight we have the Eight of Discs, which has everything to do with prudence. Okay, so we're like retaining as much as we can. We're putting away a little bit of money. We are, putting in that extra work. We are maybe being a little bit more frugal, not only in our spending, but how we use things, right? Like there are times when I know I got to make that shampoo stretch, right? Like it needs to last a while. And so, you use just a little bit less, right? Just to see if it will last, if it will make it through. And, that's kind of the energy of just, it's not necessarily this like dire desperation and feeling like it's some terribly heartbreaking thing to have to kind of tighten the belt a little bit, right? But yeah, I feel like it actually is more of like you take pride in look at this beautiful tree. I feel like it's like when you make the financial, I keep using finances, it's because it's discs, but it could be any kind of resource, right? So you make the financial plan, you actually stick to it this time, and you get onto like the other side of things and you're like, well, I met all my goals. Imagine that. It's pretty, and it feels good, doesn't it? So let's stick with that energy. We're going to bring it in with us into the bowl here. We're going to turn this thing one time. Okay, and we'll knock. Okay. And let's take a look and see what these tea leaves want to tell us today. And I also want to say thank you so very, very much for deciding to click on this reading. If you're new to tea leaf reading, tasseography, tasseomancy, welcome. Thank you for being brave and taking a chance. I myself don't always know like how I'm going to take different kinds of divination. There have been things that I've seen that I'm like, I don't know if that's for me. And I feel like some people, they see tea leaf reading and they think, I don't know what the heck that could even be. I've maybe heard of it from my grandma or saw it in a movie or read in a book or whatever. But it really is one of the oldest forms of divination, and it is one that, well, obviously I have quite a relationship with it, so I'm a little biased. But it is a beautiful, beautiful way. I find it to be a little bit softer. I don't know. There are other mediums that I myself use that seem to be a little bit more, they touch on things that maybe relate deeper to the shadow, right? So if you are returning, welcome back. It's so lovely to see you again. Okay, let's see here. Now we obviously have this ring of people, and even over here, it looks like dancing, dancing, dancing. Now we also have the tree, okay? You can see right here, the trunk of the thing, and the foliage up top. Okay, we also have a face right here. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. I think we can agree this looks kind of like a masculine, older person. So I feel that there has been a turn towards closeness within the family, or maybe this is a intentional community or friends group, or a gathering of people who feel important more so than like coworkers or acquaintances. Definitely could be blood family, but also could be created family or chosen family. Or your peers, people you are doing deep work with. But whatever this is, I feel like there is a reunion happening. There seems to be this lifting of spirits where I almost feel like there maybe was a time here where you were kind of separated from your people, right? Like you felt maybe a little pulled away, or I don't know, maybe it was like work, busy, many hours, taking on more than one job. You have kids, maybe they're younger, and when you have younger kids or kids at all, I mean, it really never ends, but you're spending a lot of time in their world because your life becomes their world, and you have to honor that, right? So you get pulled out of your kind of social circles sometimes, or these gatherings, or coming together to commune or do the work, magic, spiritual, religious, whatever it is. I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes that stuff doesn't take priority over my family, right? Like, obviously. So, it could be something like this. It could be, that there was something more direct, maybe some kind of conflict, although I don't really feel that so much as the circumstances of life kind of getting in the way. But I feel like coming up here, there is this reconnection, like the fire was getting low, and now we've brought in all this beautiful dry wood. It's ready to burn. We threw some brush on there, and just absolutely transform this thing back into a roaring bonfire. And that's what it feels like, this kind of almost bacchanalian, this ecstatic, this kind of night of wonders, almost if you could think of like what is the play? The Midsummer's Night Dream, right? Just kind of bizarre, a little bit surreal, and not really always very logical, right? Just kind of letting go of the inhibitions and reconnecting with those that I feel that you love deeply, that you do love deeply. And we have this heart right here. You can see formed right there. So this is also, and you can see the tree and the trunk there of the tree. But when I looked at it like this, I noticed that it does look like a heart, and it does look like a key. So I feel like within this kind of like return to your people, to your just, it's like they're just waiting for you, right? You get there, and all of a sudden it just feels like you're at home. You aren't anxious. You're not worried about like, do I look silly? Am I saying something stupid? It doesn't matter, because you're with people love you unconditionally, whom you love unconditionally. And I feel like this is that key that has been missing, and I think that that, of course, but then on some level it's almost kind of, sometimes we know it's like, oh, duh, obviously I'm missing my time with other people. I'm missing my time with like my soul partners. I'm not able to do the things necessarily like that I have wanted to do, or that I used to be able to do all the time. And that kind of change in life, the busyness, sometimes there's health issues or, financial woes or whatever it is, that it can feel so heartbreaking, right? And you almost kind of go through some grief because you can't live your life the way that you want to, or maybe that you're accustomed to, The thing I think of, is one of the biggest pivotal points in a lot of people's lives. Now, not everybody lives on this timeline, of course, but this idea of going through school, elementary school and middle school and high school, and in those first years of school, the first 12 years or so, and then what happens, right? You're an adult suddenly. And often it's time to move out or get a job, at least be busy with something, or go to school, go away to school. Maybe you're moving away, maybe you're traveling, whatever it is, I don't know. But it is that first major separation, right? And that feeling, right, where you're drifting away from the way that your life was for so long. Your schedule is different. Your bed might even be different, right? The scenery is different. Your responsibilities are different. The way that you get to be with people in your life is different because probably, well, maybe you're not living with them anymore. And it changes the dynamic. So that's that feeling. I want you to think about that separation. If it's from the side of the person who's going out into the world, or, as the parent that is saying goodbye to their most precious relationship being, soul partner that they'll ever have. Right? And you have to watch them go out into the world and be their own person, which is wonderful and exciting and also just so very hard, hard, scary. So that feeling. Now, I feel that in this time, it's been maybe not that traumatic, of course, but I feel that there is a sense of loss, right? Of not quite feeling like you're living the way that you maybe want to, but maybe not even feeling so much like yourself within your own life. Like things are just not aligned in the optimal, way. And so I see you having this reconnection and it really becoming that motivating force, how you will feel with your people, with your beloved ones, will remind you what is possible. It's not like we live in a time where it's like, the one holiday a year, the big holiday, whatever that is for you, right? It's probably different for each of us. Mine's Saturnalia. We live for this holiday, and this is going to be peak happiness, right? We work all year to keep our lives going, to keep a roof over our head and building some kind of career for ourselves or whatever, right? Opportunities for ourselves. And then we get to the holiday or holidays, and it's like, this is the time I got to turn that happiness on. This is the time I go through the whole year so I can be happy right here. I know, that kind of pressure. And how often are we that happy on the holidays? Usually it's just the kids. Now I understand why. It's so much work. It is so much work. My goodness. But here's the deal. I just feel like this is the breakthrough. This is it, right? It's not, you don't want it to be this one time, this one meeting, this one, class reunion, family reunion, friends, trip, whatever, ritual, an intentional ritual put together, and you actually get to go and do the thing, right? You have the time and ability and will to do all lines this time. But you don't want it to only be this once. And why should we live that way? Why should we live for tomorrow? Always working towards, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if, I'll be happy if I can, or, whatever. And it's good for motivation. Yes, okay, but it's heartbreaking. It's tiring. When do we ever get to tomorrow? When do we ever get to that place? I don't know, because this is something I'm working on in myself. Presence, mindfulness, and a healthy amount of detachment from situations and desires and, and neediness and all that. And that can all be so exemplified in when we project it all onto, like a holiday. Again, I keep going with the holiday. The holiday, or this meeting with your people, your friends, is, being together. But I know that we don't have to keep pretending that we can't have what we want in life. Right? It just has to be somewhat reasonable. But to be a little more selfish, maybe. It feels selfish, but to be a little more, what's the word? I guess I like selfish, yes. For your self-care, for your need to do whatever it is that's going on here, right? If it's a hobby, maybe this is like, I don't know, you're like one of those people that like to dress like, what is it, the Civil War or the Revolutionary War, or one of those wars, right? I'm in America, obviously. And I'm sure they do this in other countries, right? Maybe, I don't know. But dress up and you go out there onto the field or wherever they have it, in a park or something, and you role play or LARP or reenact, I guess is what you would call it, these battles, right? And there's so much detail that goes into it, the language and the timelines and all the like stuff they have, their tents and tools and weapons and whatever, right? Maybe this is like something that you're into. I don't know. I highly doubt. Maybe though, if you are, please shout it out in the comments. But it feels almost like when your life is busy and things are going on and financially and whatever, it feels like a luxury. But is it? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and categorize what is necessary and what is a luxury. But what I do know is that life is short. It's fleeting. And if there's something that you want to do or people that you want to be with, you have to find a way to do some of it, right? More often. Don't keep putting it off forever. I know how it goes. I have a 4-year-old and I'll tell somebody, oh my gosh, we should get together. Let's have dinner, soon. And then I see them again and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't, how long ago was that? That was like 2 months ago I said that. And then next time I think about it, it's been like 5 months, and how? The time has gone by so fast. So I get it. But sometimes we have to. We just have to like put our foot down and say, I'm doing this thing. I'm doing it. All right, so we have 77. We also have a capital A. So we have maybe an A name. So I feel like you're going to, we have a Sagittarius right here. You can totally see it. Look at that. It looks like the Minotaur, right? Is that how you say it? The half man, half horse or bull. Oh my gosh. It's half horse. But the Minotaur is, here we go, Lenor. Come on. The Minotaur is half bull. That's like on, the Cretan Minotaur. Okay. I'm Googling here. I'm sorry. Hang on a second. Centaur. Okay. I feel like I've never said that. I know I have. I like the name. It reminds me of like Cenobite. Is that what that's called? Or is that what they're called on, let me see. No, Cenobite is a, they are called that. I'm like, wait a second, Cinnabon. I'm thinking of Cinnabon. Cenobite is from Hellraiser. That's right. Those like demon things. To some they are angels, to some they are demons. I don't know what they are to who, but I would hang out. I definitely would hang out. Yes, and Cinnabon. Cinnabon. But anyway, Centaur. So yes. And let's get back to you. I'll go down a rabbit hole over here. Don't make me. Let's see. So we have a Sagittarius. Up here it looks like we have a Taurus or a bull. You can see here are the horns, here's the body, here's the tail there. Okay, so we have the Sagittarius, we have a Taurus or a bull, somebody that's like a bull possibly. It looks like we actually have another one right here. Man, look, another right there, the head. But it seems to me that it says stay. S-T-A-Y. And there's a question mark. Ooh, and and then the little hearts. Ooh. I feel like somebody from your past, they're definitely going to be trying to rekindle something. But we also have the crawdad right here. So that real lunar feeling. I feel like for you, okay, so I feel this it like feels so pain, like there's just a sharp pain immediately. I feel like there was somebody in this grouping of people who you maybe are in love with, at least have like a real strong connection, like almost romantic. It could be romantic. But something, there's just, I feel like when you are with this person, it's so easy. You talk, you touch, you laugh, it just feels easy. But when the moment you are away from them, you start to get in your own head and you think, oh, was I too pushy? Maybe they're just being nice, maybe this, maybe that. And it's like, that's so out of character for you. Usually it's just kind of like, okay, we connect. Okay. This is happening, and there's no like deep wondering back and forth. What do they think of me? Does he like me? Does she think about, I don't feel like you're necessarily the type of person to be, worrying about those kinds of things that much. But this person totally brings you out into this kind of feeling kind of self-conscious. But at the same time, I feel like you're like, there's like a wild desire. Okay. But here's the thing is that I feel you, like all of these years, and I feel like you have known them for years, you just talk yourself out of it and it makes you feel so sad. And I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at your sadness. I know what that feels like. We all do, right? You get so close to saying something, and you like can't be, I don't know what it is, because like what are you gonna lose really? They already know, obviously. Obviously. So I feel you, I understand. And somebody in the comments yesterday was like, why are you laughing through this whole reading? Well, first of all, I want to say I am neurodivergent, and that's not like an excuse or anything, but I do communicate differently, and you can definitely hear that in different, like, you can tell when I'm stressed out, or I haven't slept enough, or I'm having like executive dysfunction kind of stuff happening, or whatever. You can just tell by my speech. That's one thing. But I kind of have a nervous laugh, but I also just like to laugh. I laugh a lot in my life. And yes, has it gotten me in trouble? Yes. Did I have to learn how to scrap when I was a kid, growing up in California in the 90s? Yes, absolutely I did. But here's the deal. I'm not laughing at you at all. I get these like waves of feelings while I'm talking about things, and sometimes even when it's like direly sad, desperate, which I am all too familiar with those feelings myself, but yeah, it kind of does. It makes me laugh. It kind of almost feels like a roller coaster, like that first like dropping feeling. And I don't know, I laugh a little bit, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody, but also I'm not going to stop, because it's just how I am. It's what I am. It's, I'm just a girl over here trying to relate something and, not cry 24 hours a day at the state of things, right? So anyhow, I feel like you definitely, I don't know, I don't want to be like that toxic positivity person that's like, you just have to believe in yourself. You're so great, but you are literally a miracle. And if you've heard me do this little thing or say this little thing before, I'm sorry. But it's true. To just have you sitting or standing or whatever you're doing right now, as you're listening, as you're watching, for you to be in this place at this time, for all of the infinite variables to align, for your consciousness to be in a body that is stable and existing and not completely deteriorating and totally just dissolving into stardust and floating away into space or whatever, right? It's a miracle, and every fraction of a second is a miracle that you are alive and that you are you, and that you're here with us in this great collective. And sometimes we have to try to remember that about ourselves. And I know it doesn't always fix it. It maybe doesn't ever fix it. But this is how we have to start talking to ourselves, because it's true. It's not just like a put on. You're the most unique thing you'll ever experience. You are special. You are beautiful. You are beyond any little, little tiny, like, human upon a rock, right? We just poo-poo that. Like, it's just like, oh, yeah, well, there's so many people that have done this before, so it's not that special. It is, though. It is very special in the grand scheme of things. So, anyways, gas yourself up. Go to this thing. See your friends, your family, your people, whoever this is, right? Do the work. And keep your heart open as much as you can. And every time you start to have a little sneaking, put down or feeling self-conscious about some little detail or whatever, please prepare yourself with like a list of affirmations. Pull that stuff out. Get on your phone, have like, in your notes, or maybe even have cards. Like, I don't have any just affirmation ones, but like, they have affirmation decks. I have a whole stack of them. They're definitely, go check Amazon or wherever you buy your cards from. Go check it out. Go look up some affirmation cards. Whatever it is that you have, whatever you can take with you, whatever is handy to you, pull that thing out and just start sweet talking yourself, okay? We all need a little sweet talk sometimes. Okay, so anyhow, we have a big K here, a large K. We have the repeating sevens again. We have a trine. We have the whale. We have the N for no. I feel like you must have had somebody in your life who just did not have a nice word for you. I feel like this is like an older person in your family or community. Maybe it was like a neighbor or something. But I just feel like there's this constant, like they were watching you. They were judging you. Your generation, you're this or that. You don't do this. You don't do that. You'll never do this. You'll never live up to whatever. We've all heard it. At least once or twice in our lives, right? But I just feel like this is one of those places. It's like a splinter in your paw or something, and it has become like this whale of a blockage for you. You can just like hear this dismissal or the just not even listening to you as you're speaking to them, right? They just like walk away while you're talking. Have you ever had that happen? I hope not, because it's ridiculous, especially when you're young, when you are forming like your personality, your self-confidence, your sense of being a human, a conscious entity, and to have somebody be so disrespectful, but within the guise of like, you have to respect your elders, they don't have to respect you, but you have to respect them. And I feel like that really it did something. It left its little mark in there somewhere. But I feel like this is it. This is where we're beginning to work through it. Process, integrate, all of that. But I just feel like there's just a sense of taking care of that inner child that feels embarrassed, that feels stupid, that feels not good enough, you know, neglected, ignored, abandoned, mistreated, you know, whatever it was, whoever that person was, I would have some words for him right now. Not a very nice energy there. But I feel like you are getting to this kind of sector. If we could think about our personality and our histories, the stories that we tell ourselves about our lives and the things that we kind of hold on to as our identity markers, right? And really getting into like this is this little portion over here, and you're walking into that area. And I feel like this is where the work is going to be really important for this cycle that you are finding yourself in, for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers. Okay, number 40, 78, and 37. All right. Okay, so we're going to finish up with our gratitude affirmation cards. And I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Allure of aroma. I appreciate the aroma of life. I am thankful for the scent of freshly baked goods. Oh yes. Rain-soaked grass and my favorite perfume. I am grateful for the experience of fragrance and my sense of smell brings to each moment. I'm grateful for the experience of fragrance. Yes. My smell is coming back a little bit more. I lost it for like a month and a half, 2 months, and I'll tell you what, it's been hard. I cook all the meals too, so I don't know if stuff tastes good. You know, everybody has said it's tasted fine, like good, it's normal, but I don't know if they're being nice sometimes. All right, practice. Have you ever noticed your response when a familiar scent wafts into the room? Give thanks for the gift of this I always have trouble with this word. Olfactory. I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to pretend that I do. Sense. There we go. It's funny. I have like a few decks of what are they? They're like flower cards, right? And they have like scientific names of flowers. And I want to use them, but I know I cannot pronounce the names. And I would just have anxiety the whole time. So I'm like, maybe not. All right. So we have our inner child oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels right here. And it says 26, practice freedom. Release the weight of judgment. Ooh. All right. Well, I guess that aligns with the message of the day. I like it. Okay, Leo, I love you. I hope that you know that. I miss you. I know sometimes we get far apart from each other, but I do love you. I love you very much. And if you would like to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Again, I'll say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.